Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hey everybody, it's Sunny and Char, and today is February 8th, 2019, or 2019, yeah. And I'm grateful for all of you watching, and today, we have a really special guest, and her story is heartwarming. And we're going to show a video about her and her journey with her son and her family. But first, I want to introduce her. This is Valerie Yarrow. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Char. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. So. When your son was 5.5 years old, you discovered that he had a very rare disease, huh?
Yes. Yeah. He was diagnosed at 5.5 with, it's called Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and it's a rare genetic disease. It's a muscle wasting disease that happens in 1 in 5,000 boys. We thought he was a perfectly healthy child.
1 in 5,000 boys?
Yeah, boys.
What causes it?
It's a chromosome-related genetic disorder, and it's on the X chromosome. Boys are XY, girls are XX. So if it doesn't happen to girls because you have 2 X's. So when the X chromosome, they're missing a series of exons, and it causes this mutation, and it causes muscle, degeneration. And usually boys aren't diagnosed. They're diagnosed between the ages of 3 and 5. And honestly, my pediatrician missed it completely. And I, as a mom, I had instincts knowing.
Your intuition.
My intuition
told
me
you
something was wrong.
Yeah.
Because he was just not quite keeping up with his peers. He wasn't running like them. He would play in the sandbox rather than climbing, the jungle gym. And I kept asking my teachers, all his teachers. I kept asking the pediatrician, and everyone kept telling me he was doing great. Pediatrician said he's fine. He's going to be a football player. Look at those muscles. And then I had a daughter. And by the time my daughter was 18 months old, she was like running circles around him.
Oh. And
I went back to my pediatrician and I said, there's just something going on here. And even the preschool teacher said, we're starting some handwriting now. It is last year of preschool. His fine motor skills might need some work.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you just go to occupational therapy or something and kind of work on his fine motor skills.
Right.
So I told my pediatrician, and he said, okay, fine, let's try OT. And the occupational therapist, said to me, have you ever seen a neurologist? And I was so confused. I'm like, a neurologist for what? He's like handwriting. What are you talking about? And she said, I don't know, just to rule everything out. And rule everything out? I don't know what this lady's talking about. So we continued that 6 months. And
because he was basically pretty normal kid.
Yeah, he hit all his milestones.
And he could speak well, and
everything.
He could read, and
he was crawling before some of his peers were. I mean, he hit every single milestone. And finally, she asked me again, I really think you should ask your doctor if you should see a neurologist. And I did again, and he said, okay, I'll tell you what, come in, and let me just take a look at him. Bring your daughter too. And we went to the office, and he asked my son and daughter to get on the floor, and he said, get up from, they were sitting like Indian style, and he said, get up from the floor. And my daughter popped up, and he had to get on both hands and knees and kind of struggled to get up. And then he started looking at his calf muscles, and then he started looking at his body and his spine and his way he was walking. And he said, we need to do a blood test. And I, again, thought he was nuts. And he said, we need to be looking, there might be some dystrophy here. He used the word dystrophy.
Dystrophy.
And my head popped to Jerry Lewis telethons.
Right, muscular dystrophy.
Muscular dystrophy telethons with kids in wheelchairs. And I'm like, what is this lunatic talking about? And I was livid. And I said,
oh, you got mad at him.
I was like, I don't even know what, and he couldn't even handle like a flu shot. So I'm like, I'm going to take him for blood work. You're out of your mind. Anyway, cut to, we made an appointment with a neurologist. I wanted to see her first because I wanted to rule out, I wanted, her to say, he's totally fine. Your doctor's paranoid.
Right.
And I was so convinced everything was fine that I booked the appointment on my birthday because it was around the corner from a restaurant I really wanted to go to.
Oh, well, that was convenient.
So we have the appointment with the neurologist.
Oh,
she
man.
examines him 45 minutes and says, I think we're definitely looking at something called Duchenne.
So sorry. Duchenne.
It's called Duchenne.
It's called Duchenne muscular dystrophy?
Because the scientist that discovered the mutation was Dr. Duchenne from France. Yes. Now, there's a lot of types of muscular dystrophy, about 25 to 30 different types. This is actually one of the worst. There has never been a survivor. The kids are diagnosed between 3 and 5. It's only boys. By the time they're 12, they stop walking, typically, and there has never been a survivor. We had a genetic testing done. That took 2 months to come back. It was confirmed.
So how did it genetically happen? Through what?
Well, I found out that I was a carrier.
Oh, geez.
And I had genetic testing done. I had an amnio when I was pregnant. But an amnio, Duchenne is such a rare disease.
They don't test for it.
They don't test for it unless you specifically ask.
But you did try. You tried to check for things.
Yes. And when they said the words Duchenne to us, I mean, we've never heard that word in our entire lives.
Right.
I don't even know what you're talking
about. And plus
about.
you have a daughter who's
I have it's not in my family and it's not in my husband's family.
Right.
So when
you would never accept
when you say genetic disease to somebody, the normal public thinks, oh, it's in your family, it's genetic. That doesn't mean it's in your family. It could actually be a spontaneous mutation. And that's what it was with me.
What does that mean?
Well, it just means that when I was born, my genes somehow spontaneously mutated and I became a carrier of this horrible disease.
Wow.
So my mother is not a carrier, my grandmother wasn't a carrier, and I have tons of brothers and cousins and everybody's healthy.
Do you know if your daughter's a carrier?
We have to find out.
You have to really do the
10,
testing.
Yeah.
So
when she's ready to procreate, we will need to test her.
You made a beautiful, beautiful video. May I show that to our viewers and our listeners? Because it just really did me in when I listened to it today. So Tony, do you mind?
Dear Duchenne, when we first heard your name, my son Alexander was 5.5 years old. A rare genetic disease, the doctor said. Duchenne muscular dystrophy has no cure. We tried to carry on like nothing would change. Alex seemed untouchable. He dreamed of being a basketball player, and we believed that one day we would watch him pursue that dream. Then came the first signs. He started to struggle with things he used to do naturally. Walking down the street, climbing the stairs, playing with friends. With each new day, you quietly stole something else from him. And then, this past June, you did the cruelest thing of all. You took away his footsteps. You had us thinking you had won. But you thought that in our devastation, we would just give up. You thought wrong. My son is an athlete. and he's playing in a much greater game against an opponent who never played fair. My son is in the game 100%, and so are we. We have warriors surrounding us. We will win this. Alex can no longer play basketball like he used to, but he has never given up. His smile has never faded. We are putting you on notice, Duchenne. We are all in the game, and we will defeat you. We will not hold back. We will not stop fighting until every child walks strong. You chose to pick on an innocent young boy, but you didn't know who you were dealing with. While my son cannot walk today, we will walk stronger for him and for every other boy you're trying to defeat. We will walk stronger until the battle is won. Sincerely, Valerie and George. And walking strong.
Wow. He's so adorable.
Thank you. He's
It's
very
got-
special.
Now I feel bad I made you watch that.
No. No, I'm,
You're okay.
yeah,
Because you're out to help.
yeah.
And we've got a lot of amazing listeners on CharVision. How can we help?
Well, when we first started Walking Strong, first of all, Alex was walking,
Mm-hmm.
and we really believed at that time that he would continue walking.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a clinical trial at that time that we really had a lot of hope for.
Mm-hmm.
It had no benefit. So that was, again, another gut punch for us when he stopped walking. So the name of Walking Strong is sort of, the meaning has changed for us in the fact that we know Alexander's not going to be walking strong, but we are now walking strong for these boys.
Right.
And the way we're doing that,
Is it mostly boys that get
it's
it?
all boys.
It's
yeah.
all boys.
Yeah, because
Oh, because of the chromosome.
XY, yeah, they have an X and a Y, and when the X is damaged, basically.
Wow.
So what we have done, which is what we're very proud of, is that we are helping all these families in the way of buying them medical equipment and things that insurance does not cover. And most people do not know this
Right.
or believe it.
Right.
Because when you have private insurance and you're a normal middle-class American, insurance does not pay for a handicap van. They do not pay for ramps in your home. They do not pay for a remodel. They do not pay for a stair lift.
That's crazy.
And we first started experiencing it when we needed to order Alexander a stair lift when he could no longer walk up to the playroom.
Right.
And I ordered a $6,000 stair lift, and insurance denied it, saying it is not medically necessary. And, and
my
this is
gosh.
Anthem Blue Cross. And I said, we of course fought them and said, how can you say this is not medically necessary? And they said, because it doesn't medically help your child. So this was our very first awakening
Wow.
of what? And we realized that that just kept, the insanity kept going.
Right.
And then we realized that there were so many more people that were worse off than us financially and
Right.
single parents and trying to make ends meet. And, insurance isn't paying for the ramps in their house. Or we had a family we helped last year who lived in a tri-level townhouse with a boy in a wheelchair. And
Oh
they
my.
couldn't afford to move.
Oh my.
And they were carrying this 120-pound teenager on their back to go up and down the stairs for him. And we bought them a wheelchair climber, a really cool device that
Wow.
literally, it's a chair
Uh-huh.
that climbs up and down stairs.
That's
Save
amazing.
Their lives. Save their lives.
That's
you know.
amazing.
So we're paying for down payments of vans for people. We actually purchased a van for a needy family in LA.
How do people contribute? Where do we send money?
WalkingStrong.org.
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 Do you have that up, Tony?
Yeah. So our main mission is not only providing, and we're also patients at UCLA. UCLA, the Center for Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, is an incredible organization that has 14 laboratories now studying Duchenne. And just so put in the context, when we were diagnosed in 2011, there was not one clinical trial, and the only treatment for boys is steroids. Now we're in 2019. There are about, I think, 85 to 100 clinical trials going on, which is incredible.
Wow.
14 laboratories at UCLA alone.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
I also just need to throw in the UCLA part of it, because the founders of the clinic at UCLA are a husband and wife scientist team
Oh.
who were scientists at UCLA. Stan was studying. He was actually a pediatric oncologist. His wife was a microbiologist, immunologist.
Right.
Their son was diagnosed with Duchenne
Unbelievable.
13 years ago. And 13 years ago, their doctor said to them, nothing we can do, come back when he's in a wheelchair, go home, love him, and hug him.
Oh.
And they said, that's unacceptable. We're scientists. We're going
to
do
find
something.
a cure.
And they founded the Center for Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy along with their colleague, Melissa Spencer, and 14 laboratories now at UCLA. So part of our funding goes to the UCLA clinic,
Right.
and the rest of it goes to helping families with their needs all over the country.
Wow. I hope people listening, even if you send $1,
Yeah.
$2, I mean, it everything helps.
Everything helps.
What can I do? I'll do a fundraiser for you.
You're doing a lot. I mean, having, and honestly, our awareness when we first started out was awareness. I mean, no one's heard of this.
If you can fill an auditorium, I can entertain them with readings. Think about it.
Would love that.
Think about it. I'll do it.
The other piece of it, Char, is getting in touch with, the other piece of it is these parents are suffering a lot more sometimes than the kids are with this, especially when your kid's diagnosed at 5, when they're still able to walk. And
are
they
there
still look great.
therapists?
We do have one therapist now that is willing, that is offering her services to help families, especially ones that have lost their boys recently.
Right. Oh, that's so hard because
that's happening too. Yeah. These boys
especially if people don't believe in a spirit world.
Yes.
And
they don't have anywhere to turn,
and they don't understand. But you believe in a spirit world, don't you?
I will tell you that when the diagnosis happened, in the room in the hospital that day, I literally wanted to check out of this world. I was looking around the room going, I'm done. I'm out. I didn't sign up for this. I'm a mom. I don't do the disease. I don't even know. I'm out.
Right.
God, take me now, because I'm not doing this. When they start telling you what's going to happen to your child, and it blows your mind. And so for the first year, I think we were leveled, my husband and I.
Right.
And men, of course, handle it even worse. And
right.
No offense to men, but I'm just saying
not Tony.
No, not Tony. Everyone but Tony. But everybody, men, it's just, my husband was actually coaching Alexander in T-ball at the time of the diagnosis. I mean, he has hopes that he was going to be an athlete. I mean, it was just absolutely devastating. But I'll tell you, there's one reason why we were able to pick ourselves up and actually decide we were going to get involved and form a foundation, and it's the grace of God. I turned everything over to God.
And that was so smart.
Well, you have two choices. I mean,
I always say, and I truly believe this, that life is a school, and we're here to learn lessons, and we're here to elevate our souls and our spirits. And when we cross over to the other side, it's not, we judge ourselves in God's eyes. So, and I always believe God is love and love is God, and our goal is to become one with the energy of goodness, love, and God. And, when we cross over, it doesn't matter how famous you are or rich you are or what you look like. It's your deeds and what did you do and how did you handle it, and did you learn your lessons while you're here so you can elevate your soul to become one with that goodness. And obviously, you got hard lessons. Well, really hard lessons.
I think I've really gone I've gone home and gone internal and done all this self, work for the last 7 years. And what I realized is by listening to so many people and so many talkers and reading so many books, we're all, exactly what you said is we're all here on assignment,
We are.
This is a temp job,
It is.
And we're all here for a purpose. And you got
Exactly.
to find out what is your purpose.
What is your purpose? And you're embracing it. I have to say one thing because I kind of feel someone around you, if you don't mind me asking, or can I read for you for a little bit? Okay.
Yes.
But I just have to say one thing about Alex. It's Alexander, but you call him Alex? Okay. When we saw the video, the energy in his spirit, when he was in the wheelchair and he went like this to the wheelchair, like I'm dealing with this. I'm gonna, his intent and his I don't know, his energy and you can tell his attitude is like, oh no, I can handle this and I'm doing this.
Yep.
Like he's like
Embraced
an angel on earth.
Yes.
God's child who's here to help other people and other things. So can you just say yes or no to me? Okay. But I was seeing I was seeing a couple things and I don't know where this is coming from, but I was getting an A or M initial. And do you have a Marie or Mary or
An Aunt Mary.
an Aunt Mary who's deceased?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, is there another A or M person? Or just her? Okay. And the other thing is there's a J. There's a J or G initial. Do you have family that is, or your husband?
My husband starts with a J, yeah.
Jorge. Okay, yeah, don't say names. Just say yes or no.
Yeah.
But does he have somebody deceased who's a Jorge or a J or M initial? Do you know his family, the names of all his?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not an A or L or E or L? Okay, I kind of think there is. And you said that recently there was somebody who's deceased, children. Was there a J with one of those children who crossed over that with the families?
A J.
A J or G initial? Or was there an M or an A with one of those kids? Or their families?
Yes.
What, the mother?
J is the mother.
Yeah. Is she J with an N in her name?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jean or Joan or Joanne or Jan? Jennifer. Okay. Yeah, Jen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like his spirit's around, and I feel like he wants Jennifer to know that he's at peace.
Mm.
And there's, oh God, is there an S or C person? Or K or C person?
Mm-hmm.
Which
K.
letter? Is it a male?
Mm-hmm.
K-E or K-Y?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Is Kyle the one who crossed over?
Yes.
Is that Jennifer's?
No.
That's
different.
another one.
Another one.
Okay. So
We
I
helped his
feel
family too.
Kyle is here, and I feel like all these young boys who cross over are like angels in heaven watching over your Alexander. Besides Mary's here, but I feel like there's I feel like they chose this before they came on the earth. Like, I don't believe everything in life is predestined, but I think some things are, and that we choose our challenges to learn our lessons. And I feel that Kyle is watching over your son. Were they friends?
No.
They
but
didn't really
his
know each other.
Father coaches Alex's power soccer league now.
Okay.
Alex joined the league right after Kyle passed away.
Okay. So, and there's an R or B or R or D. A B, a male,
Yeah.
B with an R in it, or a Bob or a Bill or Ben. I don't know the name. Benjamin. Is that another?
Jennifer's son who crossed over.
Jennifer's son. Okay, so you need to tell Jennifer that Benjamin and Kyle, they're all, these guys are in like a club in heaven. They're in a very exclusive club energetically that they're working on helping everybody. And you need to know that. And they're also helping with Alex. And there's somebody else with Alex, and I don't know who it is, but I don't know if it's your grandmother, your grandfather, somebody. Were you close to your grandmother? I don't know her name.
Yes.
Is she an L? Or there's not an L in her name. Mm-mm. Okay, I don't know. Who's an L?
L?
Okay, I don't know who it is, but there's somebody with, I feel like your grandmother's around watching Alex too, but the strongest ones are like Benjamin and Kyle. They're because they're of like energy, like kind, like angels on earth. Mm-hmm. So you need to know that.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope it helps. Because it's devastating. Nobody understands how you feel or knows how you feel or understands what you're going through, but there's a bigger plan. And when you gave it up to God, you did the right thing, because look at all the families you're helping and all the people and all the connections you're doing, helping people. It's so special.
Well, I will give the credit to, our faith, and having the faith, and you have to have faith.
And you got to have faith. And I believe in prayer.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe in God's will, because, like I tell everyone I read for, it's like the spirit world is like the living. There's positive and negative energy. So you always want to pray and keep the angels and the protection and God close at hand, because that's where the healing happens.
Yeah. And faith is, in the Catholic Church, they say the mystery of faith, meaning it's not, you don't have faith with your eyes, because your eyes are not seeing. And if we all rely on the human laws of the world and medicine and medical reports and science, then you're going to go in the downward spiral. You'll go down the rabbit hole. It's having the faith. And listen, it's hard. It's very difficult. I mean, we listen, we see the reports. We know what's supposedly to come for Alex.
Right.
We've been told, we've seen it, but we don't live that way. We live very present. Very, very present. And that's the hardest thing.
The power of now.
Yes.
It's so important to be in the moment. It's probably changed your whole outlook in your whole life.
Well, because before I was living like everybody else, 100 miles an hour, always thinking, jumping ahead.
Right.
What's next? What's next? What's the new thing? How do we, what money and this and that, let's chase our dreams. And no, I mean, we slowed down with screeching halt, going internal, present, in the moment. We don't know what tomorrow brings. I'll tell you what actually shocked me into being more present.
What?
Was because we were in a bad place, and the Newtown, Connecticut shootings happened, and Alexander was in first grade at the time. And the morning of the shootings, I mean, it was horrific. And you know what stopped it for me was those parents took their little kids to school that day, just like I did.
Right.
And never got blown away, and they never saw those kids again. And I have my kid. I have my boy.
You can hug him and kiss him.
I can hug him and kiss him, and he can smile at me, and we can have a conversation, and he's in a chair, and who cares? I have him.
Right.
Those parents.
And he's loved, and and he loves you, and it's all about love.
So and that's what I say to my fellow Duchenne moms, and we're a very tight group, but we went out last night, actually. I say, but guys, we've got our kids. Imagine even the Thousand Oaks shooting. Like, you say goodbye to your kid one day, and to go, I mean, a first grader to go to school, and I mean, the last thing you're going to think is this kid's going to get shot in his classroom and killed.
Right.
I mean, so
it's devastating. I mean,
I don't know how you get past that, but so we're blessed, and really gratitude. Gratitude is the only thing that gets you going, and keeps you.
Gratitude is an important thing, isn't it?
Very.
I feel like we don't appreciate enough or show appreciation enough just for the little things.
Little. Doesn't
just
matter. Just thank God for I can get out of bed.
Exactly, and walk out of bed.
Yeah. Thank God I'm not in chemo.
Right?
Yeah. Thank God. Like, just.
That it was so moving. The video you did you write this?
So Kobe
Because
Bryant,
I feel like you were guided from
I
a higher
was very guided.
God or energy or something, because it was the thing about.
Well, I'll tell you how it
Yeah.
came about was, so we had worked with Kobe the year before. We had
Kobe Bryant. That
Yeah.
was I forgot
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah.
That was really nice of him.
that was the tall black guy in there.
yeah.
We again, divine connection. Kobe ended up meeting, and this is a divine connection because Alexander's godmother happened to meet Kobe at an event and say to him, I know you're busy. I have a godson. He has this terrible disease. If there's anything you can do to help, she wrote him a note. She handed it to him and said, my name's Lori, whatever. His assistant called us that afternoon
Wow.
and said, he wants to help. What do we need to do?
God bless him.
God bless him. So first year he was in our first video.
Wow.
Kept the relationship going. Then Kobe, and we were trying to come up with a concept with the director for the next video. And this is when Alex stopped walking. So I was in a bad place and stuff. And we were trying to come up with a concept. We got tickets to the Hollywood Bowl. John Williams was performing with, doing
wow.
all his stuff, right? Then he introduces a special guest and says, this is a big basketball star, one of the biggest in the world. I want to introduce my special guest, Kobe Bryant, who just wrote a little book.
Wow.
His ode to basketball as he's retiring.
Wow.
So Kobe comes on stage, and we're all freaking out, going, we didn't know Kobe, that's so great. And he narrates his book called Dear Basketball. And it was Kobe's book called Dear Basketball. And and he got a Disney animator to animate the short film, and he was actually won an Academy Award. But John Williams did the music. So Kobe is on stage, and he's reading his book called Dear Basketball. And it popped in my head right then. I said, you know what? I'm going to write a letter to Duchenne. I'm going to write, that's going to be the video, my letter to Duchenne.
Yeah, well, you were very guided.
So I called the director, and that was it. And we came up with it. And then we got Kobe on board to be in it again.
Which is amazing.
And I explained how I came about and how it came about because of his book. And it was great.
And the thing about, what did you say about the footsteps or the what did how
He
did you
lost
phrase
his
it?
footsteps.
He lost his footsteps.
The very
my God.
The very first year, we shot a video with Alex walking on the beach that you saw in there. There was footage of him walking on the beach.
Right.
And he read the footsteps prayer in that first video, in our very first gala that we had.
The
we
one
showed
that God,
Yes.
God, why didn't you,
Yes.
why didn't I see two sets of footprints?
Yes, because I was carrying you.
God said, because I was carrying you.
And Alexander did the voiceover of that. And footsteps
wow.
is, very meaningful to us. And, everyone has a journey, and, we can't plan it.
No.
You can't plan your journey. And you just have to surrender to really the journey that you are supposed to be on. And I guess Eckhart Tolle always says, everything is as it should be, and that's hard for a lot of people to understand. Well, why me?
Yeah.
How come?
And a lot of people turn against God.
Oh, very
Which
easily.
is the worst thing you can ever do.
Yeah. Well, I asked my priests, I have 3 very close priests of ours, and I said, so why do bad things happen? I mean, why does God allow things like this to happen? And, God is not able to prevent everything, but he, beauty for ashes, he makes beauty for ashes. So, and I understand that, life is suffering. I mean, Buddha is the one that says life is suffering. And, but it's how you react to it. We know that life is up and down, and it's a roller coaster, and it's about when you surrender to it and stop fighting it is when the blessings come.
Right.
And they do come, We have, right here, this is a blessing. I mean, we just talking to you and whoever's listening, now they know a word they've never heard before.
Right. Duchenne, and you don't know if they have family
Yes.
whose child may have similar situations.
Yes.
Well, Valerie, you've been, is there another Valerie, or are you the only Valerie?
In the world?
No, in your family.
I'm the only one.
Yeah. You have left footprints on all our hearts.
Thank you.
And Alex, and I'm so grateful for you to be here. And anytime you want to come on and promote any events you're doing or anything to help cure these kids or help these kids,
Thank you.
you have an open invitation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Love to.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for letting me read for you. I didn't expect to, but
That was amazing. Yeah.
thank you.
Very
Thank you
powerful.
so much. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a couple callers. Do we have time for that, Tony? Okay, so do you
You ready?
yeah, I'm ready.
707.
Hello? Are you there? Uh-oh. I can't hear you. We need a new person, Tony.
No, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Can you put a little louder, Tony?
There we go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay.
You don't sound like you're okay.
Yeah, I'm really not, but I'm happy to be talking to you.
Oh, it's so my pleasure. Were you disappointed recently?
Yes.
Did someone disappoint you?
Excuse me?
Did somebody disappoint you?
No.
Okay, but you're disappointed.
I'm just really sad.
And are you depressed?
Yeah, I probably am.
Have you ever been checked by somebody about depression?
Oh, yeah.
And are you on anything?
I am, yeah.
And okay, I'm not allowed to give out medical advice, but one thing that's really important is to make sure that whatever medicines you may be on are balanced.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
you keep checking to make sure, because our chemistry changes and sometimes that can get in the way. But I feel I see is there someone who's a W or an M initial around you?
W or an M?
Yeah. Or is there a William or a Bill around you? Or a Bill or Bob?
No.
Or Bob?
No. Close.
What, a B?
No.
Oh, what do you mean close to what?
Well, you said Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is that?
So there's a Robert.
Robert. That Robert and Bob are the same to me. Who is that?
Well, there's actually two Roberts in my life.
And who is that?
They're my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and then another one who's a friend.
Was the friend a romantic friend?
Yeah.
And are you not involved with him anymore?
I mean, I am, but I just want to keep it at a friend level.
Does he want something more than that?
Yeah.
Did you have a physical relationship with Robert?
I did.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah.
Because he does.
We tried.
Yeah, you tried. I didn't mean to laugh about it, but I mean, I didn't mean to make fun of it or light of it, because I understand that. But you need to keep your boundaries with him, because he's smitten with you.
Yes.
He really likes you, and I feel like you're probably better just keeping your boundaries, because if you really liked him, you would have pursued that, right?
Yeah. We've been
And it's
trying.
Are there drugs around your brother or alcohol?
No.
Who around you is alcohol or drugs?
Well, Robert used to drink alcohol, but
Robert
he doesn't
used to be
anymore.
an alcoholic. Okay, I think
He
he's
smokes
good.
marijuana.
I think he's good to keep as a friend. I think he'll be a good friend to you as long as you keep your boundaries. But he's always going to want something more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. At least you're desired.
Yeah.
And who's the J person around you?
Is there a J person?
Is there anyone who's a Joseph or John or James a J?
No.
Is there a last name like this? A J, like a Johnson or Jones or J?
Last name with a J?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can't. I'm going to have to move on to the next person. I feel like there's something connected to you with work, with a J person, or changing work, or expanding something with work in a positive way with a J initial.
J initial. I used to work with someone whose last name was a J.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's going to be something else ahead of you. Is he? Yeah. I just feel like there's going to be some other opportunity for you.
Do you see me moving?
I see an opportunity for moving. You're going to have a choice.
Do you know which direction?
Were you thinking of going west?
I'm about as far west as I can go.
So you are west.
Without going.
Okay.
I am west.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what direction, but I do feel like there's going to be, I might just be picking up on you because you're there, but I see that there's going to be an opportunity and a choice for you to move on. And that's it. I got to move on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, who's next?
908.
Hello?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Char?
I'm good, thank you. I see somebody that's a C or an S or a K or C around you.
SC, there are a few.
Is there a female?
A female deceased, yes.
With an S or C?
Both.
Is the first name an S?
There is one, and there's also a family name that's an S.
Okay, because I feel like they're around you. And is the C person a female as well?
Yes.
Is it C with an R in the name or an L in it? Or an N?
No.
Or an N in it?
No, it's a nickname, kind of.
Like what? Like a cookie or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, candy, cookie, something like that.
Right. That's it.
What? Is that the name?
Cookie.
Cookie's the name. And is this your grandma, your mom? Who is that?
A cousin.
A cousin. Okay, I wasn't sure the relationship. I feel like she's around you. Was that an unexpected death?
Kind of unexpected, yes.
Yeah, I feel like she's around you and she knows that you think about her still.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And is she connected to the S people, the last name S?
No.
Okay, because I feel like is there S first name?
Yes.
With an N in it or an R?
Neither.
Or an L in it?
No.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure that it's not a Sophie or...
No, you want me to tell you?
Sadie, what is it?
Susie.
Susie. Oh, okay. That probably, is it really Susan? Because that probably has an N in it. Whoever that is...
Actually, I did have an N. Actually, Susie is short for an Italian name, Assunta. So
Okay.
it had the N in it.
I feel like she's around you as well.
Okay.
And why are they showing me a child?
I have a grandchild. I don't
The
know.
grandchild. Okay. And do you spend time with the grandchild?
Whenever I can.
Yeah, she's showing me that they know about the grandchild. Maybe the grandchild wasn't born when they were around.
Yes, he's only 6 months old.
Yeah, but they're showing me the child and that it's a blessing. And I see you spending time. I just see that you're going to be connected to this child, and it's a healthy situation for you.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's really, really good. What are you are you a bad driver?
No, I think I'm pretty good.
You
I
didn't
just don't like to too much.
You don't like to drive.
Not much anymore.
Okay. Do you not drive at night anymore?
As little as possible. Not.
Yeah. I feel like that it's okay, but it is, it's common sense for all of us to watch for other drivers, but I feel like if there's emergency or something with driving that you should do that. Like, it's okay. But trust your instincts.
Emergency.
Trust your instincts about it. What scared you about driving? I don't know why they're showing that to me.
I don't know. Just got kind of nervous. I guess cars getting old and stuff like that. I'm getting old.
Right. Okay. Well, that's okay. So, I don't know. I feel like you're going to be okay, though, but it is smart to watch for other drivers.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you around an area where it would snow or?
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah. Just be careful around the slippery stuff. But I really feel like you're okay.
Okay.
And enjoy that grandbaby.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Take good care. All the best. Okay, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, sweetheart. That's it for now. I want to thank Valerie for being here. Thank you so much, Valerie. And I want to thank all of you for watching and listening to CharVision. And I want to thank Tony Sweet, who is my angel. I love you more. And I want to thank Nicole for everything you're doing in Michigan to help us make CharVision happen. And I want to thank all of you for watching. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Be well. Take care.